Alright, hello everybody. I'm broadcasting from Cam Ranh City right now. This is my childhood home. And for any of you who don't know, Cam Ranh is in the middle part of Vietnam, around 45 kilometers apart from Nha Trang, and we have a really beautiful beach. We are the largest producer of lobsters in the whole Vietnam. 80% of Vietnam lobsters it came from Cam Ranh. And for any of you who just came to my channel, my name is Paul. Welcome to the Physical Trading channel, where we talk about how we could do business with you for the next 10, 20, 30 years, or even to the next generations of you. What we do is that we help our client to purchase product at a large quantity, at the right quality, at an affordable price, and we make sure that we're keeping our responsibility for all of these things to happen for the next 10, 30, 20 years, or even your next generation still do business with our next generations. So that's what we're focusing on, the long-term business partnerships in international trading. In today's video, we're going to talk about the risk that you should take and the risk that you should never take in international transactions. And when we're talking about risk, it really depends on people, on the persons, It really depends on your situations. Some of you have a lot more money than the other people. Some of you have some special advantage. Maybe you know the gangster in the country so that you could get the payment out when you need to. Maybe you just a friend of the president. You could put anyone in jail when they're not complying with the agreement. Maybe you know how to bribe someone. It just really depends. It's not everybody is the same. It depends on your situations. But generally, if you are a person who are working in growing your business and you have a limited capital, then you don't have the unlimited money like the big firm where they're having up to trillions of dollars, $100 billion available for them. Then you need to working a little bit more carefully on assessing the risk. And let me tell you a story so that you could have a perspective of a supplier of mine. His family was one of the first generations in doing charcoal processing in Vietnam. And his dad was remain his family reputation up to 30 something years right now. And they do this at the beginning of the period where Vietnam just opened the gate for the world to do business in Vietnam, to start to sourcing product from Vietnam. But with the mistake that he was doing and with the risk that he was accepted taking, he was ruining his whole family reputation and also losing his way to get back to the game. His story was, at the time, my client gave him a total of $210,000. And I would not say it's a small amount of money. For a lot of people, it's a significant amount of money. In order for that person to processing the charcoal months in advance so that my client could get the lower price compared to market, by his promise that he's gonna go out there and cut it along jungle and bring the mangrove wood back to his home, and then started to produce it in the queues and many things that he said that he gonna do. His personality is not a bad person, all right? He's just a person who not sure to remain his reputation and also make sure that he not mingling his client money with his money. That's illegal, all right? So after he took in the money and giving my client a promise that he gonna do ABC, he not do ABC, he do EDF, something else. He started to get into a partnership where he could trade aluminums as a really large quantities, and this deal is a little bit illegal, where they using the false HS code to import that product into Vietnam, to get the significant markup of 50%, and he giving some under table money to the customs. I'm not sure how it's work, but he doing all these things. And he started with the first container. He's sending the upfront amount of money to these Pakistan's people. And this Pakistan's people, he never fly to meet them. He never go there and talk to them directly. He never know they really have the productions of that product. Can they handle it or not? He not knowing any of these formations. He believed his partner. He sent the money to the Pakistan's people. The Pakistan's people, first time they producing product, they sent it to him, and everything was fine. Everything was good. Was extremely good. There's no problems in the first container. They put a little bit of a full brick of aluminums on outside of the container. They put the scrap aluminum in the back, because that way he make money. He calculate in his mind gonna make a really good profit out of that. And then the second time is when he placed the next shipment order with a total grant of $400,000. He lending money from other people, give it to a person he don't know no things about. He have no ability to forcing them to processing and complying with the deal. And you guess what? When you send people a significant amount of money in an untrustworthy country with a lot of restrictions, with a lot of, when you don't know nothing about a country, you have no power over the legal system, you have no power over the gangster there, you have nothing to control your risk when things happen. And so these Pakistan's people just scam him, and with that heat of the market, he could never recover from it. And even if he could go in there and verify all the information correctly, all right, verify all the information 100% correctly, there's still a risk that he could losing that amount of money. There's if he just go verify, they could still scam him, because he is taking the risk. He's taking the risk that more than what he could afford. And then from that one loss, it's affecting his current flow, trade flow, when he's still sending 60, 70 containers a month. He losing that trade flow too. And guess what happened? For straight 6 to 7 months, he couldn't recover. And a couple days ago, he sent me a offer. He presented me an offer that I should join to a business venture with him, because I know how to do all the international things. I know how to handle the transactions. I know how to do logistics. He say all these things, but the offer was too much of the risk. It's not make sense. So the first things is you cannot take the risk where you could not recover. It's about you first. It's not about what risk. It's about you first. Could you recover if you losing and if you take this risk? For example, if you're asking, hey, if I giving my money to this client where this client could be a scammer, I don't have anything to verify they are real buyer or not, I'm not sure they are reputable enough, I'm not sure that trade credit insurance people gonna be protect me in the case that that client not gonna pay me, I'm not sure of any of the information. Should I giving this my life saving to this person and then just hoping that they're gonna pay me? No, the answer is no. I'm gonna answer this for you real quick. The answer is no. You should not give your life saving to the counterparty where you have no protections against the deal. That's a terrible deal. But let's say that you are well capitalized and you know this person could purchase up to, let's say, 100 container a month. Your profit margin is up to 15%, let's say. And you checking with your trade credit insurance company, they say that it's fine, they could provide you with the credit insurance for that specific company. You're talking to people around industry, everybody know them, they are reputable in the market for up to 30-40 years. If you send them one container and let them check the product before they pay you in order to get into the better payment for next 100 containers, so that you and them could do long-term business together, should you do something like that? Well, this should be your situation. It depends on the situation. If you're losing a container and there's no problems with you, if there's a chance that you mess up with anything, it could be the payment, the client is not as trustworthy as you verify. Might be they just do some shady stuff nobody know, or you drop your container to the sea, the ocean, suppliers scamming you. Many aspects of the problems could happen. All right, many aspects of the problems could happen. But if you losing that one container and you never be able to recover, the answer is no. If the question is, if the answer is, hey, if I'm losing this containers, I'm not gonna be painful, I'm not gonna be hard to be recovered, I could still recover. And also, if I gain in this relationship, the reward of it's gonna be tremendously bigger, and this client could purchase many more products. And after the first container, the second container are gonna have the better payment terms where I could scale my profit much easier, and I make sure that I'm not gonna be put into the position of bankruptcy because of one client. Then the answer of you should take in this risk is yes. So guys, it's not about what risk to take, it's not about what risk to not take, it's about you. You need to get an answer out of your situations, and only you could handle it. If you cannot trade a container product, if you cannot take the risk of losing one container, then here's a better way to do it. You should sell it at the less than one container quantity. There's many other products that you could sell less than one container quantity, or you should sell lower quality product, or you should sell in domestic market, or you should sell in your village. You should start with something like that, with a risk that acceptable for yourself to take. All right, don't do the thing that my charcoal supplier does. It's made him to lose all his credibility. It's made him from a person who could live a really good life with exporting 60-70 containers a month to a person who have to live in debt. Why are you doing something like that, right? So the conclusion is, look, I'm not a financial advisor, not expert in anything. I just start my business. I'm not smart and not extremely intelligent. But this is what I'm gonna do. And this is what I am doing right now in order to get the biggest client, the biggest importer of charcoal in Taiwan to purchase from my business. The second biggest, and soon gonna be the biggest. But I'm not gonna promise anything. I don't want to overpromise anything. But there's a high probability that we're gonna settle the deal with the biggest charcoal importers for a long-term business partnership. Uh, but guys, that's like what I doing right now. That's how I assessing my risk. That's how I asking questions for myself in order to participate in a deal or not, in order to acquiring a huge client. And it's remember when you're doing business, it's not just about your risk too. It's about your client risk. So both sides should be in the considerations. If the client is a small company, you should treat them different. If they're a big company, you should have a different mechanism to play with them, to participate into business with them. You need to be having that flexible in mind. You need to understand your situation clear, to make decisions. It's not just about what to do and what don't. You need to ask yourself a questions. All right, so that's the video for today. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hopefully could talk to you guys in the future. Once again, if you want to do business for the next 10, 20, 30 years or working with us till your next generations, then feel free to contact me as earthange.com or lcdfruit.com, or there's my WhatsApp. Just text me and let's see what we can do together. Thank you.